Okay, so in a previous video, I went through how to import a recipe from a website, but how you can also add one manually. So same idea, we want to be in this recipe section, which if you're not already on the screen, you can reach by just going up to the top, hit food, and then hit recipes, and you end up on the screen that I'm on now. So then what we would want to do is actually manually add a recipe. So now what I would want to do is give it whatever name I want to call it. So let's say I'm going to call this slow cooker chicken thigh. And let's say this is going to be a 8 serving recipe. Let's say I'm going to use 2 pounds of chicken. So I'm going to go 2 pounds chicken thigh. I'm going to use 1 pound baby carrots. I'm going to use 1 pound celery. I'm going to use 1/2 of a red onion. I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of thyme. I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of rosemary. And I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of oregano. Now the spices aren't going to have a huge calorie value, so it's not ultra critical that you log them, but just from a reference standpoint, I like it. So this is basically my slow cooker recipe. Now I want MyFitnessPal to hunt for this and go find it. So we're going to hit match ingredients. So what it did is it took the total amounts that I specified and then it divided it so that we've got 8 servings. So each serving, so 2 pounds divided by 8 is going to be 1/4 of a pound, is 166 calories per serving. And so it just grabbed all this for me. Now, for example, it's got 1/2 cup of chopped red onion. If I wanted to change that, that may not be just 1/2 of a red onion, but if I want to change it, I could just hit edit quantity, and maybe I wanted to update that to be a full cup. So I would do 2 1/2 cup servings, and now that tweaks it a little bit for me. You know, the importer is not perfect, so you want to just double check to make sure that it grabbed the right quantities. But, so now all I need to do is I can either save it and log it, where it'll throw it into my intake for the day, or I can just save it. So all I'm going to do is save it. So now it's in here. So anytime I want to log this thing, if I go into my food diary, I'm going to go to add food, and I'm going to add it from my recipe tab instead of from my recent stuff. So I'll hit recipes. Let's see if that thing is under there. So I just had, let's say I had 2 servings. Then I would just change the quantity to 2, and I would add it. So it put the whole thing in there. So here's my calories, my carbs, my fat, my protein, you know, all that good stuff is automatically just putting all those ingredients into one line, so you don't have to have 10 lines to make up this meal. So that's how you drop a recipe in that you've created yourself.